full of these Connect pieces. I believe that's what it's called. But again, we got a whole bag full of stuff. We'll see how much they can give us back. Some more sealed games. You got this Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Hello everyone, it's Austin and we are back with another episode of my $10 Nintendo Collection series. In last week's episode, we went to a bunch of thrift stores and scored pretty big on a lot of games. We also got some nice Grail games on the Super Nintendo and on the N64. To start off this episode, just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. It's been such an amazing and incredible journey for me on YouTube this past 2.5 years. I'm so grateful and fortunate to have a platform and an opportunity to share with you guys my game hunting adventures, and also just a place for me to share my thoughts and opinions on video game related content. I don't currently have any plans of stopping anytime soon, so really excited to see what the future holds for us on YouTube. On to the next topic though, really excited to show you guys the new list of Nintendo games that we will be looking for. So without further ado, here it is right here. Please don't mind my terrible handwriting, but we have a list of the final games I will be looking for. So the way I was able to come up with these games was I simply just did a Google search on the top selling games of each of these consoles, and then just went through those lists in search of the games that I don't currently have in my collection or in my personal collection. And the first games that I saw that I didn't have, I just put them onto this list. For the second games under each of the consoles, those were games that I actually had some interest in and have always wanted to own. So starting off with the NES console, again just searching up the most selling games, the top 10 selling games on that list. Apparently I had a lot of them already, so I had to move to like the top 10 to 20 and saw 3 Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest games. They were Dragon Quest 2, 3, and 4. So I'll be searching for at least one of these games. And then for the second game, we got Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. I've never owned this game before, always wanted to, and it is one of the higher selling games as well. Next we got the Super Nintendo, and Street Fighter 2 actually showed up twice in the top 10. You got Street Fighter 2 and also Turbo, so we'll be looking for any of those. And then we also got Super Mario World 2, which I've never owned this copy, this Yoshi's Island game, which was also a top 10 seller as well. Moving down to the N64, and you can imagine I already had a ton of the top selling games for this platform, so I had to move down to like the top 10 to 20 and found Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I've actually never owned this game, so it'd be awesome to find to add to my collection, along with Kirby 64. And then moving on to the GameCube, you got Mario Kart Double Dash. Of course, all the Mario Kart games were so popular on all of these Nintendo consoles, but this one was like the top 2 of the best-selling games. And then you also got Pikmin, which I just want to show love to this franchise because it wasn't in my original list. So we're going to find the original Pikmin, which is another childhood favorite of mine. And then lastly, on the Nintendo Switch, we decided to skip the Wii and the Wii U because there weren't a lot of games on the Wii U. And then for the Wii, it was just a lot of the games that I pretty much had. For example, the Wii Sports, the Wii Sports Resorts, Guitar Hero, Mario Karts, just all the games that I find very often. Well, we got another Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom. This game sold a ton of copies and was easily one of the top 10 selling games on the Switch. And then we also got Splatoon 3. Wanted to show love to this franchise as well. I currently don't own this game. But yeah, that's 10 games that we will be searching for to close out this series. Just another fun challenge for us to do while we are out here game hunting. Making a list like this is actually great for me because it motivates me to try a lot harder in searching items to flip and also looking for these games. That's all I got though. Let's jump into this collection and get into these sales. Here we are at the game showcase, and before we get into our sales, I wanted to take some time to go over all our games and possibly pick some out so that we can do a trade-in this episode, hopefully. So I'm going to be looking for some lower end games that would be great to just bring to a game store or my media store and see how much I can get back for them. Still got some games up here from last week's episode, and there are some games that I might just take to trade in. For example, this Batman Arkham City, probably not worth putting up on eBay, so that could be one. And same with this Borderlands 2. Got this for $1, so definitely worth it. Same with this Full Spectrum Warrior. I think this one's missing a manual, unfortunately. Everything up here, though, for sure not going to be getting rid of. I put most of my Grail items in this shelf up here. But down here,
we got more shelves, and it's starting to fill up a lot, as you guys can see. Starting to run out of space. So I guess this episode would be a perfect one to start getting rid of some stuff. We got our Switch and GameCube games here, which we're not going to touch. Same with the cartridge games. I would love to keep all of those. We keep all our eBay listed items in these two bins, and I could possibly take some of these if they're not selling. For example, I know my media store does take DVDs and stuff like that. So this one's been sitting for a while. It's actually Blu-ray. Wow. I got this listed on eBay for pretty cheap, so surprised this hasn't sold yet. This could be one that I take to the media store. What else do we got? This NCAA football we've had for a while. I think I don't even have this listed on eBay. Seems to be complete and everything too. So it could be one that I decide to trade in. I just recently picked up a lot of these, so I might just consider keeping these for now and see how they do. Down here in this bin, you got this Indiana Jones, which has been on my eBay for a while now too, and we'll probably try to get that one traded in, along with this Sherlock Holmes one that's been on our eBay for quite a while. And it looks like we got some lower end Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 games here. Yeah, I could just trade these in as well, see what kind of little money I can get for these. I'm pretty sure the game store might not even take some of these. Yeah, we'll see how much we can get and bring over there. We got Rocksmith here. I think this one's been on our eBay for a while too. I try to not pick up too many shovelware Wii games, but I think in this bin is okay. We're not going to grab anything for now. I'll probably look it over again. And then over here we got some of our Grail, like Xbox 360 pickups, the Godfather games, Gundam, the Fear games. Actually, it looks like we have 2 copies of this Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. So we will go ahead and trade one of them in. Down here, I just started throwing a lot of my DVDs and Blu-rays as well, along with some of our previous pickups. We got these Hip Hop Abs. These workout DVDs have not done well for me, so I will try to trade them in as well. Everything else, though, we'll probably just keep. Down here, we got some Wii U games, and I think I'm going to keep a lot of these as well. We do have this Black Ops 3 loose game that we got at the Goodwill bins, and this game actually is trading in for around like $5 to $6 at a GameStop, so I may just end up doing that. And then to our last bin, I think this is the one that contains a lot of stuff that I may decide to try and trade in. For example, these Xbox One games. No interest in keeping these, and we got them for like $2 at a half price books. And then for the remaining, we got this PSP game, which is missing a manual. We'll see if they even take that. Just a lot of lower end Xbox 360 games here as well. And then for these Wii games, we could possibly be getting rid of as well. Just some shovelware ones. So this is what we pretty much have. 2 stacks of games and DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm assuming they won't take all of this stuff. So if we can get anywhere from, I don't know, $30 to $50, we'll be totally happy with that. And hopefully we can pick up a game on our list. Here we are at the game showcase, and we actually made 4 sales. I'm going to quickly go over them right now. First thing we sold is a loose game. This Twisted Metal Black actually sold for $13.50 only. The next game we sold is this Need for Speed Unbound game, and we sold this one for around 18 or 19 bucks. We got a lot of these games for around $4 at a pawn shop. The next game we have is this 187 Ride or Die game, and this one sold for $17. And then lastly, we sold this Medal of Honor, the sealed game. We've had this for a while, but this one just sold for 20 bucks. Gonna get all 4 of these packaged and shipped. After eBay fees and shipping, this is how much we'll get to add back to the game fund. We made our way to a Goodwill this week, and it feels like we haven't been finding anything at Goodwill's, unfortunately. We're in the media section right now, and just gonna show you guys some interesting stuff that I found. Not too many video games. I am seeing a bunch of Blu-rays though, some interesting ones. You got Zombieland, this Transformer one. I don't even think I've seen this one yet. This is like the older one from like the original trilogy with Shia LaBeouf in there still. Just haven't really been able to find much in terms of video games here though, at any of the Goodwills I've been going to. But check this out. We got Shaun of the Dead, this steel booklet. Picked this up in the last series, and I still have it. I don't know, this really doesn't hold too much value, around like 10 to 15. We'll debate on that, I guess. But we do have one game, Thrillville Off the Rails. Really enjoyed these Thrillville games, and could just be a fun one just to pick up and add to the collection. And then down here we've got one Blu-ray that I actually did look up, and it's this Eric Clapton Live in San Diego. Just contains like one disc, but it's like, I guess, a live performance from this person. Scanned it up and does go for around like 15 to 20. Not really seeing any used copies though, but we will probably grab this one though. So we got one thing. Also spotted this Shrek 4 movie collection. I didn't realize they made so many Shrek movies, and I think they're making a new one too, so pretty interesting. You got this Wii game right here, not worth grabbing. And then down here we got some games too, some more Wii games, shovelware. But some sports titles here, nothing too crazy. Did find a sealed copy of this FIFA 21 though. I don't think this holds any value, but we'll check that out. We got Madden 19, and then just some other NBA and Madden games. You got Assassin's Creed 3. I see this game like everywhere. Made my way to this corner area where they got some plushies and actually a box full of these Connect pieces. I believe that's what it's called. I don't see these around too often, but not sure if these hold any value. It's a pretty big box of these though. I feel like these things have been around for a very long time, because we used to mess around with these in like elementary school, middle school. So pretty cool to see a box full of this stuff for 15 bucks. Then we got some plushies over here. All I really found was this Toad plush for like $1, so could just be a fun one to grab. Okay.
Total is 1046.
Okay.
Here at the game showcase, and we got ourselves another sale. Just sold one item, and it's gonna be this Aquaman Steel Booklet 4K Ultra HD movie. We sold this one for $42 and picked it up at a Walmart for 10 bucks. So yeah, really nice pickup and flip. Gonna get this one packaged and shipped. After eBay fees and shipping, this is how much we'll get to add back to the game fund. We are now at Mega Media Xchange, getting ready to do this big trade-in. Got all our games out here. You can see it's snowing like crazy outside. But again, we got a whole bag full of stuff. We'll see how much they can give us back for maybe trading credit or even cash if we don't find anything in there. So yeah, without further ado, let's go in. Yeah, just trade in some games and like some. I decided to do some browsing around while we wait for our games to be looked over. Checking out the N64 section, and we're going to be looking for Majora's Mask and Kirby 64 on this console. Unfortunately, I did not find them. They just had a lot of lower end games. One interesting game that I did see down here was this Shadow Gate 64 game. Never seen this one before. They had it priced at $40. Taking a look at the Super Nintendo section next, and we're looking for Street Fighter 2 and Super Mario World 2. Browsing around, I actually did find one of these games. This is probably the biggest selection that they've had at this game store in a while. But the game that I found is going to be on this side, and it's going to be hard to see, but it's all the way in the back. It's Street Fighter 2 that they had for $18. For sure going to be able to pick that one up. And then just going to quickly go over the NES section with you guys. I didn't find anything worth picking up here. We're looking for a Dragon Warrior 2, 3, or 4, and also the Adventures of Link. But they also had a great selection here as well. Next, we're taking a look at the Wii and GameCube section, and it was really small. This is more of the lower end games. Got this Legends of Wrestling. I remember playing that one. And then the Wii U section was just nothing really. They had a couple copies of Mario Maker for 10 bucks. Now we're at the glass case where they got a lot of the higher end stuff. Found this Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for 120. And then in the GameCube section, look what we got here, a Mario Kart Double Dash. Missing the manual, but that's okay. I'm not too picky when it comes to GameCube games and them being complete. And that one was $80. Also got some Xbox games down here.
Okay. This stack here, the store credit value is at $75. Cash would be $60.
We can do store credit. I wanted 2 games as well. Just they yeah.
We do not. But
So then with the 75 taken off of those, it's gonna be $27.98.
Okay. Back in the car, and wow, guys, they gave me back $70 for all the stuff that I did get to trade in. Here's all the stuff that they didn't take. Here's what we picked up right here, but just some PS3 games, Xbox games. We'll just keep what we got. Here's a receipt of what they did take. Hopefully you guys can see that. But Indiana Jones Collection DVD for $4.50. The Pacific on Blu-ray for $5. MMA for $4. I mean, dang, Fable 2 was $4.50. These are some great prices that they were able to give back, which is awesome. True Crime on the Xbox for $6. And then on the other side, we got Super Monkey Ball for $4.50. A couple of $1 games. But really happy with this. I mean, $75 for it all. We'll gladly take that. It allowed us to get these 2 games for pretty cheap. We only spent like $30 for these. So yeah, I'd say that's a win for this week. Making a visit to a Mega Media Exchange this week, and this is the store that I found a lot of sealed video games here last time, and was able to pick them up for pretty cheap. So we'll be on the lookout for those and just see what else we can find here. Right off the bat, we got one on the PS1 that is sealed still. It's crazy. I haven't seen a sealed PlayStation 1 game like ever. But yeah, $7 for that. Probably gonna pass on that. In the PlayStation 2 section, I already scanned through some of this stuff. We got this Ford Racing sealed. You don't see a lot of sealed PlayStation 2 games either anymore. They have like just so many extra copies of specific games. Like, look at all these copies of this Fisherman game and this Ford Racing game. But this Mega Media store in particular actually prices games very well and decent compared to other stores and game stores. But I did find one game, and it's this Need for Speed Pro Street, still sealed. I mean, it's got like the sticker seal at the bottom. This got a couple of rips and tears. Saw a couple of these selling on eBay for around like $20 to $30. So at $6, I might take a chance on this one. Didn't really see too much in the PlayStation 3 section, though. I think there were a couple sealed ones. This Revelations is sealed, but as you would expect, probably not worth anything. A couple of these Medal of Honor games as well, but we're gonna pass on those. Checking out the Xbox section next, and look at this game, Rise of the Nightmares. No idea this existed. Developed by Sega. It's a Kinect game, and this is straight up horror action right here. While vacationing in Eastern Europe, your wife is kidnapped by a ruthless madman. Lost and alone, you must follow his deadly trail of rotting corpse and body parts in a hellish world overrun with walking dead. That's pretty creepy. But down here we got some more sealed games. You got this Medal of Honor Warfighter sealed, and then also one of my favorites, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. This is like one of the original games that released with the 360. And I think it does value for around like 20-ish bucks. So for $4, might be a pickup for me. let's have a look at the glass cases where they got some of the more higher end games. And some accessories right here. Got some PlayStation games up here though. This Mega Man game looks awesome. I got Shaolin Monks, PS4 games. I'm really interested in checking out this Patrick Star game. I've heard some great reviews on that one. A couple of Xbox games, and then here are the loose games. But I'm not quite sure what I want to grab over here. I was looking for some games on my list, but I didn't really see anything worth grabbing. I've always wanted a copy of this Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, but a pretty small selection from what I'm used to seeing over here. Same with Wii U and even GameCube. You got like 3 or 4 games only. Got some N64 games over here, and they got a decent selection, I'd say. Some San Francisco Rush games, both of them, for pretty cheap too. This Gauntlet's only $30, which is cool. South Park game. They got Resident Evil for $53. Is that a good price? Got a decent selection of NES games as well. Double Dragon, this Castle Quest game. And then there was one back there, Conquest of Crystal Palace for $37. But may just end up grabbing something cheaper. Karate Kid looks awesome. And then same with this Robo Warrior game for $6. Home Alone might be a great game too to grab. Hello.
Alright, ready to check out.
Yeah. And also wanted to grab 2 NES games really quick.
Sure.
Right here. So just the Home Alone 2 and then the Karate Kid one right here. Yeah.
We are now back in the game room, and that wraps up the game hunting for this week. We really didn't pick up too much this week, but really happy with the small stuff that we did get. It's been a while since we found some stuff at a Goodwill, but we did pick up this Toad plush. Just gonna add it to my plushes over here. Also got some more items as well. We picked up Thrillville off the rails on the Wii. Big fan of this Thrillville game series. Just a fun amusement park adventure that you get to go through and create. Next we found Shaun of the Dead, the Steel Booklet Blu-ray. We actually found this in the last $10 series as well. And I really enjoyed this movie. Just a really funny take on a zombie survival theme. Lastly, we got Eric Clapton live in San Diego. Never heard of this guy, but holds a little bit of value. It's just a live performance, I'm assuming. And then lastly, we made a visit to 2 Mega Media Xchange stores this week. We picked up Home Alone 2 on the NES. Probably my favorite Home Alone movie, but this is kind of a weird, wacky game. The game starts off in the hotel parts and you're just walking through the hallways, getting attacked by some of the weirdest stuff. You gotta dodge like briefcases, you gotta dodge vacuums, and you're always getting choked and strangled by the most random people, like a grandma and the maids. The next Super Nintendo game we got is the Karate Kid, and I really enjoyed watching these older Karate Kid movies. I don't remember too much about them, but whenever they came on TV, I always enjoyed watching them. I think this game takes place after the first Karate Kid movie and most of the second movie. This game has a mix of one-on-one combat style along with a 2D side-scroller adventure. We got a couple of sealed games as well. We got Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, one of my first games I played on the Xbox 360, and got it for only $4. The last sealed game we got is this Need for Speed Pro Street, and this one released in 2007 and kind of discontinued the original open world style of Need for Speed. This game revolves a lot more around organized, international, big event style racing. Even though it doesn't have the open world aspects, it's still a really underrated game. And then we got our last 2 games, which are actually on our list that we just created. We got Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, and this game was a very popular game simply because it was the first game that was ever released on home consoles. So before, they were only on arcade. You got all your favorite characters like Blanca, Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and this is just your traditional Street Fighter style game. You got the low punch, mid punch, high punch, same with the kicks as well. And each of those moves has their own animations. That's what made these games so special. And last but not least, we got Mario Kart Double Dash. Regarded as one of the best Mario Kart games in the series. It was the first fully 3D Mario Kart game, and obviously what makes it so special and unique is that you get to pick 2 characters and depending on what characters you pick, it actually impacts your stats for driving. This feature has never been brought back to the Mario Kart series. Also, each character has their own special items, which is such a brilliant idea. Adds a lot of fun and versatility to the game. Gonna add all of this to our shelf right now. And also cross off these two games, Street Fighter 2 on the NES and Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. What a great way for us to start off this list. Excited to see what other games we were able to find. But that pretty much concludes our episode. Thank you guys all for tuning in to this week, and I'll see you all on the next one.